brand new era of high ticket sales has just begun. And if you're not on the forefront of the changes, you will be left behind. That's right. All the highest paying jobs in the industry will be taken up, and then you'll have to wait for the next wave. That's right. When these different changes happen within the industry, there's usually a 6-month gap where you have to go with the tide. If you miss that opportunity, all the good offers already get taken up and you get left behind. So with that being said, we're going to discuss in this video the 5 things you need to avoid going into this year to be left behind, and what you have to do to ultimately place yourself in a good spot to make a ton of money, make good connections, and propel yourself over the next few years. That's right. It's such an important shift right now with AI. So pay attention, grab a pen and a piece of paper, and let's jump into it. So people just think that high ticket world is mainly just a coaching and consulting world where we sell for influencers, and that is no longer the case. I'll share with you an example. In the high ticket space, we're seeing a lot more recruiting for different business offers. So helping businesses with funding, helping them with real world things of recruiting and implementing massive systems into their teams. Also the SaaS world. And so a company named Oracle, you might have seen them online, big company worth billions and millions, billions of dollars. They have the exact process that I teach, setters and closers on their team. And that's what actually sells their SaaS. Okay, so it's no longer just an industry of coaches and consultants. We're also seeing a lot of offers nowadays of faceless channels, faceless brands, UGC ads on Meta. So these are ads that are created by AI with AI people. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to ultimately get a good grasp on how things are changing within your industry that you're in. And if you're not in the high ticket sales space, don't worry. I'll help you through everything step by step in the mentorship. You just got to click the link down below, apply to join the mentorship. That's where we train and place you within a job within 60 days. So you can start crushing it. Okay, number 2, look for industries that are less competitive and are more niche. So in the actual ads manager, what you're going to want to do for this, and I'm going to pull up my screen, is we're going to want to look up actual offers. So let's go ahead and look up content coach. Okay. So as this loads, you just want to remember that there's essentially established niche and there's newer niche. Within those niches, there are up and coming coaches and there's established coaches. So we'll use this as an example. In the finance and budgeting space, who is the main person you think of? Within the business consulting and how to grow your business space, who's the first person that might come to your mind? Probably Alex Rameau. So these are established niches. So if you break in to a niche like this and you're trying to get hired with acquisition.com and Ramsey Solutions, which is their respective companies, it's going to be very, very hard. Like super hard, guys. They get thousands of applications. So what you do is once you figure out the actual niche that you want, you can figure out a less competitive slice of that niche, or you can find an up and coming niche that doesn't have established players yet. Now it's still going to have players, but it's not going to be the main killers like Dave Ramsey and Alex Ramosi, who are spending hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars on ads per week to try to capture the attention. Make sense? Cool. So if we look at Content Coach here, you can see we have some different ads, and you can go through and find some of the creators. Like this is Dan Locke, so he's a bigger person in the space. He's been doing high ticket for a while. And just make sure that once you find a coach, let's say it's Dan Locke, that you go on YouTube and verify that this is an actual, someone that's running a business and has organic content on Instagram, on X. They don't necessarily need to have all that content, but make sure that they at least have YouTube and they're running Meta ads and they're serious about it. They've been doing it longer than 3 to 4 months, because you don't want to be in an offer where they're only doing one or the other. Because if they're only doing Meta ads, they're not going to have as much trust. And if they only do YouTube, it's going to be inconsistent leads on your calendar. You want consistency and very high trust. Now, this brings me to my third point, that retargeting is everything in the world of high ticket now. No longer is it possible to consistently have a full calendar just off of organic content. That might have been true a year ago or 2 years ago, but things are changing now. People have big sales teams and we can't have all these massive fluctuations. You can't run a business like that. We need more of a consistent lead flow. So that brings me to my next topic. If you're on an offer where where the owner is just doing YouTube videos and they are not interested in doing Meta ads, I would really consider either using that offer as a learning opportunity to use it as a springboard to the next offer, or just completely avoiding it. Because the biggest and best offers nowadays do two things. They do organic content and they do retargeting ads. Those are the basic two things they do. Now, the third way is cold outreach on certain funnels, and we'll get into that in another video. But you have to absolutely make sure that they are those viewers that watch their videos so they can get consistent leads on your calendar. This was something that I was very lucky on the offer I was on, where they just got lots and lots of consistent organic leads. But when I was working on VShred, it was pretty much all paid. And so I got to see the difference between the two. This leads me to number 3 is that buyers are getting very smart. And objection handling, the way that we used to do it even 2 years ago, it no longer works because information is everywhere nowadays. You can use it, ChatGPT, Google, Claude. There's so many different variations to get the exact information you need at your fingertips. So when you start using a line by line script to like overcome an objection, like I need to think about it. And you're like, well, yeah, Mr. Prospect, I totally understand. It's probably not that you need to think about it because I haven't given you enough information to think about. As soon as I've seen this on ChatGPT, I know they're going to try to get through it this way. And so it actually sounds counterintuitive, but you need to go into each sales call with the hunted mentality of knowing that they booked a call needing something from you. And instead of hard closing them at the end and putting a lot of pressure on them, what you do is you get small commitments throughout the call. So then they stay on par. Then the other thing we do is we actually show them throughout the pitch by building up the gap that what they need is us. And by building that gap properly and getting those small commitments throughout the pitch, there's no reason that they should hit you with these objections. And I do cover this in another video in depth. So if you guys want to check out my full crash course on the sales psychology, the framework, closer and setter crash course, I'll link it right up here and down below in the description. Go check out that video next. All right, let's move on to number 4. And it's that the best offers in this industry are not even posted. And let me explain this. If you were a company doing millions of dollars a month in revenue, or even tens of millions, and you had a strong base of trust from your audience and your ads were crushing it, and you had a lot of your management in place, would you want to bring on like some random guy or gal that's like you don't even know? Probably not. You'd want to keep a core foundation of your actual company culture. Now, when you think about company culture, how we keep company culture is just being very careful who we let into the team. And that's really what it comes down to. Culture is set by the top down, and then whoever comes in next needs to follow through on that culture. Okay. So obviously we can't change and morph people the way that we have to recruit people that already fit that existing culture. Now, what is the best way to do this? It's by recruiting friends, family, and in a close network. This is why big offers come to me and they say, Johnny, I need help recruiting salespeople, but I'm very specific about my offer. I don't want to blast it everywhere. Do you have like this specific person? And I'm like, absolutely. I have like 10 of these people in my group and they're killers, but they're super respectful and they're family people. You know, she's a wife, he's a husband, he's got 5 kids, and they could bring that culture into your company. And they say, great. You know what? I want to interview just those 10 people. Perfect. And out of those 10, we'll take like 4. Great. And this is how it works in the high ticket space. If you're just seeing a bunch of different jobs on a job board, it means that those might be tougher jobs to actually keep salespeople. And so they're constantly in this hiring cycle, just trying to keep different salespeople. So this leads me to my last point here. Number 5 is companies are hiring differently in 2026 than I've seen over the past 2 years. Companies are hiring with one or of 2 goals in mind. They either want to hire. Now, companies are hiring and they want different people. They want super hungry individuals. They don't care if you have no experience because they understand that someone like me will train you and that's fine. You'll get the training. You'll plug into the system. You don't need to have 10, 20 years of experience, but they want that hunger. They want good attitude day in, day out. So they can really drive revenue for the team, build up the company, and then rock and roll. So with that being said, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And the next video that I want you to watch is that hour-long training. It's about 70 minutes. And it's going to give you a full idea on a crash course of the actual pitch to say and what are the steps to actually being successful at this in a short amount of time as possible. So with that being said, we'll see you guys next time. Take care.